Okay, looks like we're live on YouTube according to Zoom. And there we are, live on YouTube for Reels. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. If you are seeing this on New Light Streaming Love, you are watching me live. If you're tuning in around 11:20, I should say. If you are seeing this on Sassy C or Sheila, it is the replay, just to let you know. So today is Thursday, September the 4th, 2025. And I had realized when I uploaded the live I did on Sassy C or Sheila yesterday over here on New Light Streaming Love that it had been a while since I had done a live morning read over here. So I decided to do one over here. And if you are not subscribed in both places, I highly recommend that you do so. Some really interesting things have been going on with me. She says, just as these two cards tried to come out of the deck and flip over. Very interesting. And hide back in the deck. One of them is the Ancient Ones, and the other one is Becoming. And I find both of those themes quite interesting, given what I've been moving through of late. Very interesting that. I guess the Becoming for sure, but now the Ancient Ones, not necessarily so much until just now, I guess. So what we have there is a card 34, which is a 7 numerologically. Oh, and the Ancient Ones are card 52, which is also a 7 numerologically. And we have the Gotcha card. Just came flying out. Card number 64, which is a 1 numerologically. We'll have to see what that's about this morning. So the reason I said that's very interesting with the Becoming card is that I've been having some really interesting experiences over the last, I want to say 3 evenings, right about dusk, right as the sun begins to decline. I've had some, and now I'm being flashed how Lisa had something very interesting last night during this same time period. It was different than mine, but also having some experiences with things that are not, how to phrase this. For me, I would say they are slightly out of phase, right? Some visual oddities, if you will. And last night, along with this visual oddity, a full-on almost begin, and it's coming back right now, even just talking about it. A sort of dizziness that from my own past experiences as a young person experimenting with mushrooms, right? Or acid. A full-on, it didn't become that, but it felt like it might, right? Surrender procrastination. Ooh, that's interesting. there is something that I've been procrastinating. So that's very interesting. I guess that's a full-on message, isn't it? If you're procrastinating, that's a message to stop that, isn't it? So I'll take that as a absolutely stop doing that. So anyway, comment if you are watching this later, and uh, because I'm not showing anybody showing up right now except for me, or maybe there's one other person. I'm never sure how to gauge that because I'm signed in on my phone as Sassy Seer Sheila. So I think that's me I'm seeing there. But at any rate, comment if you've been having some interesting, almost what you would consider psychedelic sort of experiences. And as I said that, these two cards came out very similar in coloring. This one is the physical pillar card from the Alchemy Elementals deck. Oh, yes. Oh, wow. A continuation. I don't know if you can see that of the frequency here that begins in this card. And that's how they came out. This one first and this one right behind it. So, you know, like I don't know how to explain that. Oh, very interesting. Okay. We'll see what they have to say. Uh, this one is a 3 numerologically. This one an 11. So interesting that. So I'd love to know though, honestly, are you experiencing something interesting that maybe you are not sure about or cannot explain? It's a little unexplained. Doesn't have to be at the dusk hour either. It's just that for whatever reason, the first 2 evenings were almost identical in what I was experiencing. It was it did not involve a dizziness like last night did, and like right now, actually. But it involved, and it was more this eye than both. Um, and I've had that one before. It's like a psychedelic visual in the eye. It's like there, but not there. I could still see everything. And I noticed it at first when I was moving about the kitchen, but it didn't go away when I sat down. It was still there. So it's very interesting. So I'd love to hear, you know, I had just recently found that sand tarot. Wow, this one just came out the other day. The Netcaster. Inspirations come to fruition. So this one come again. Very interesting. That her channel had been taken down and she had no warning, and I totally get that because that happened to me, as you all know, not once but twice. Sassy Seer Sheila is my third YouTube channel, and I didn't have nearly the amount of viewers. I mean, she got her 100,000 subscription plaque, you know. So it's, you know, she was bringing money into YouTube. So I find it kind of interesting that they took her down. Me, I'm not making any money for YouTube. So, but at any rate, they took her down and she was sharing in one of her videos about all of that and about her summer. And interesting. Winds of change. Very fall looking energies in this. At any rate, she describes in that she had several weeks of this kind of energy, like a psychedelic kind of summer, and again, no kind of assistance, if you will, in having that. A lot of people, want to think that you're doing something to bring that on, but no, not at all. And so apparently the gotcha card wants to come first. Let's see what the gotcha card has to say. The gotcha is a very interesting cat. Okay, card number 64. Ooh, sudden shock. Unexpected events, rude awakenings, which I've heard a lot of folks intuiting that the entire month of September is going to or does hold this kind of energy in store. Gotcha is the out of the blue fairy. He likes to surprise us. You're walking along, minding your own business or not minding any business at all, and the universe smacks you on your blind side with something that makes an awful splat. Unexpected demands from the tax man. The bank's hole in the wall machine eats your bank card late at night while the burly and irritable taxi driver is waiting. Your children find a way to dye themselves green just before your in laws arrive. That actually happened to me. My son dyed his hair green with his friend using Kool-Aid. A couple of days before school started in the sixth grade. Or no, he was going in the fifth grade. And it was the first time in our area that fifth graders were going to be included in the middle school. So, oh my goodness, what a mess that was. Uh, so a meteor hits your car. Gotcha is, of course, capable of happy surprises as well as shocking or miserable ones. Perhaps your lottery ticket wins. There is a school of thought that says this is just karma. We deserve it for sins we have totally forgotten in other lifetimes. Not so. Karma is about lessons we need to learn, not about punishment. And meaningless events don't teach us much. So this may be karma, but it isn't that kind of karma. And I happen to feel very differently about karma nowadays than I did when I first started, um, investigating the truth of who I am, who we all are. And through being exposed to my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush, and others who have brought some of this information forward and feeling into it for myself, it feels quite a lot like what it actually is what we put out, we receive back in kind. It is it really is all about frequential match. Because I could not figure out why it was that I kept attracting the kind of partners I was attracting. And Lisa really helped me see that they held the same sort of opinion of themselves as I held of my own self. And that is what this is all about. It wasn't a matter of how each one of us went about life in that particular manner. It was also about where we are internally, right? And how the frequency that we emit, that same frequency is very attracted to it. It's I'm probably not doing that justice. I really like the way Lisa explains it a lot better than myself. And I now have come to see that no matter how I hold a thing or label a thing, the way I feel like I have to label something, it all serves, and it serves perfectly in the moment that it shows up, regardless of what I think of it. There is another school of thought that says all of these things are our choices. Yes. We choose to be there when this is happening. We chose to step in front of the invisible cosmic bus. There is some truth to this on one level of being high in the superconscious. As Gotcha says, I know more than I see. But most of us don't function at that exalted, intuitive level of consciousness much of the time. Yeah, no, I would say not even for the most folks who would think they are enlightened, right? I don't know that no one can reside in that all the time. I don't think, at least not to my experience so far. However, many of us do get hints, little flashes of intuition, and sometimes even big flashes of intuition. We often say, I knew I shouldn't have gone that way, or trusted that person, or invested in that stock. There are two things the gotcha is trying to teach us. He says he doesn't enjoy doing it, but do I believe him? Well, actually, I do, mostly. First, and we need to listen to first, we need to listen to and trust our intuition. We need to be awake and aware. It is just part of what we need to learn in order to fulfill our potential to have happy and satisfying lives. Without it, we are sleepwalking in the world, missing all of the wonders and joys while not missing any of the bumps and pitfalls. Second, when there are lessons we need to learn, or when there are experiences that are properly other people's, but have an impact on us, uh, what we can what we need to do is learn to roll with the punches, to take what comes at us, learn what we can from it, regain our balance as quickly as possible. Things happen. We can't always control them. And I will say that I can't know what's the reasoning behind something. That's what I mean by I might label something one way, only to even sometimes years down the road see where, oh, wow, that had to happen, because if it didn't, I would not have got to this. And I have no idea how everything actually works. Oh, I think I do. Trust me on that. And we all think we know something. But do we really? At almost 64 years old now, I keep being shown where, oh, you thought you knew, but not so much, right? And I really do feel like the universe is that way, right? Uh, things happen. We can't always control them, and we can't always get out of their way. We don't always even have a choice about them. For example, To live with a beloved animal friend probably means that you are going to lose that creature at some point, because most pets have shorter lifetimes than humans do. Other things happen as well. People occasionally win huge sums in lotteries. This too, we need to be able to take in our stride and not become completely lost in it. Gotcha knows we like to build sturdy, rigid structures in our minds and lives, but he also knows that these are often not good for us. Sometimes we even complain about them, muttering about life being dull and boring. And yet we cling to them tenaciously. Such inner and outer rigidities usually encourage stagnation. And the unity or the oneness or the universe insists on growth. So, to help us along, Gotcha kindly delivers these sudden surprises. Yet, how often do we remember to say thank you? It's hard, Gotcha says, doing such a difficult job. It's enough to drive a fairy to drink. From the look of that bloodshot eye, he has already been into some of the more potent otherworld nectar. Gotcha in a reading speaks to us of sudden, often violent breakdowns of existing structures, habits, patterns, and or attitudes. When we become too tightly confined by our own self-imposed limitations, including the desire for comfort and security, Gotcha kindly breaks the structure, restraining us, whether we think we want him to or not. On a soul level, we know this to be necessary, but in our everyday thoughts, we usually get pretty upset about it. However, breakdown can lead to breakthrough. This is liberation, and we often haven't a clue what to do with it while we search for a way forward, although we may think we are simply searching for a way back to what we had before. There's a recommendation here. It says, do not try to pick up the pieces and put them back like they were. Consider instead what you would like to build in that part of your life, this time to remember to leave room for growth. Well, again, going by what I've been seeing by other intuitives and uh, some viewers turn friends and their feelings about these energies that we are about to move through, you know, the astrology that we are about to move through, that I recorded some of, would suggest that there's going to be a lot of this gotcha energy coming forward. So I'm not really surprised to see that. And again, we also had the Winds of Change card from the Elemental Energies deck, right? And for me, that's a very fall looking card there. Embrace the ever shifting energies of the air, inviting change and fresh perspectives into your life. And if I'm not mistaken, that astrology video that I recorded from Astro Butterfly spoke about Mercury being, uh, you know, at play and in the mix, which is all air energy and all about communication. So very interesting that this come forward at this time too. And we're going to talk about this card because this card came out the other day too. Netcaster, preparations come to fruition. This is a 6 numerologically, this card, number 42. It is preparations come to fruition, a surprise result beyond expectations. So having a bit of that energy from the gotcha card in this as well. The net caster arrives to tell you to stop praying for the fish. They have arrived, and it's time for you to cast your net. Oh, we had the prayer card yesterday, surrender to prayer. So that's very interesting. Everything that you long for is within reach, but it has been so long since your prayers were answered that you have forgotten how to receive what is being offered to you. Put down the prayer beads and open your arms. Well, that goes along with this card that we got as well, the surrender procrastination. Open your arms and your heart to rewards beyond measure. Cast your net. Take the next step that you have been planning for so long. Remember that the fish wait for no one. So time is of the essence. Heaven and earth are in perfect alignment for your victory. The stars are positioned for success. And again, that's kind of interesting given we've got some eclipses that are about to take place in the next few days here, actually, even for the first one, for the lunar eclipse. The only one who can spoil, the stars are positioned for success. The only one who can spoil the perfection of the moment is you. If you ask, do I really deserve this? You will sabotage the magic and shatter the crystalline flawlessness of the now. The netcaster can also arrive to bring you bad news, to tell you that you have been snared in someone's trap and must wriggle free. That's the beauty of the gotcha card as well. And it could appear as bad news, but it could be exactly what was required. Right now, it feels comfortable enough, even as the net begins to tighten around you. Do not wait until it is suffocating you before realizing you must escape and run for your life. It is still early enough to exit gracefully. Bide your time until all the conditions are right. Go to your place of stillness, of deep quiet, and watch for the signs that a new opportunity has arrived. Right now, you are patient because you feel that things will go your way. Learn to be patient with people and situations that are more challenging. Wow, this really does have a very interesting progression to it, if you ask me. Because as I said, I feel like that card right there, this card really leads to this card, the surrender of procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. That's interesting. I'd been considering starting a club where we, those who are interested in supporting the channel, having weekly meetings where we gather together and have conversations and we learn things and we do things together in Zoom. I had been considering that as there are things that for Sassy Seer Sheila that absolutely are going to be coming up to be needed. So, and for that, there will need to be outside ways to handle that. But I've been putting that off because, again, as you know, I don't care for the idea of, you know, uh, charging for different things. So, Okay, so the Alchemy Elementals cards, we had two that came out, and the physical pillar came first. So we're going to go with that one. And it is on page 107, which is an 8, which is very interesting because, like I said, eights are the upward facing infinity symbol for me. It is not just manifestation, which is what a lot of people feel like when they feel into the number 8, but for me, it's materialization. It's all about that moving up into the larger portion of me and then bringing that wisdom back down into the physical vessel and then, coming up. So it's a very, very different way of looking at that for me. And I feel it as a card of materialization. So the fact that this one in the book is on page 107, an 8 numerologically, and it is the physical pillar. When you pull the physical pillar card, it means the spirits are pointing your attention to your physical body and to the material aspects of your life. That's so interesting on so many levels because my physical body has been not doing well. And I have been procrastinating some things about it. And now would seem to be the moment for me to cast that net while the winds of change are here to support me through it. So, yet and again, how timely is this? Um, wow. Take some time to feel what this card is showing you about your physical reality. See how the cards relate to your diet, to the nutrients you are putting into your body. Consider your exercise regimen and what kind of movement will best serve your body for where you are at right now. And I'll tell you why that's so interesting because I already know what is the most gentle and easy for me personally. And I have to uh, go over here to our local YMCA and make sure that because I think this new insurance that they put me under does not have the senior, um, what they call silver sneakers pass on it. Because I already know that exercising in the pool is the best for me because it offers resistance to my whole body without damaging my joints and whatnot. So, and I've been putting off going over there and finding out because I guess because there's a part of me that feels like, well, I know what the answer is going to be. And that's just one more materialistic thing that I would then, be faced with. Right. So, um, wow. So also take a look at your sleep regimen, your digital hygiene. How much time are you spending on any of your digital devices and your self-care routine? Um, are you getting enough rest? Are you getting enough touch? Are you honoring your sacred attention and all the ways that you manage your screens? But this pillar isn't just about your physical body. Spirits are also guiding you to contemplate how the cards relate to your home life and your material reality. And given that it is because I'm being flash right now, the experiences I've had over the last several days, where in my material reality, it is as though there are things that are slightly out of phase that are being shown to me in my material reality. So that's kind of interesting there. What do the elementals have to say about your career, your friends, your finances, your family, and your community? When was the last time you had your car serviced? How about your home? Are there repairs that you've been putting off? Are there upgrades you've been wanting to make? There is some things that involve my van that I am unable to do myself. So yeah, this card is inviting you to take stock of your physical reality and to consider the other cards if you pulled some in your spread through this perspective. Wow. Okay. So because of the way things have gone down in regards to Candy, which is my Candy Girl, which is my van, I haven't been able to um, get her finished because, yeah, I trusted some folks that, well, I guess again, I won't say that I shouldn't have because I felt with all of me that this was the right thing, right? And I was nudged to do so. I was nudged to purchase candy with the gift that I was given. And so I can't feel like it was the wrong thing to do, or I guess I could. But again, I just don't know. Land, flower, sun. I think that I still will see what will transpire with that. Um, Page number 92. So this too is an 11. So that's very interesting. The card is numbered 11, and the page that it appears on is an 11. So this feels kind of significant. And as I said, since it came out immediately following the physical pillar, and you can see that it's almost as though the frequency began here and is echoed here. Very interesting. Okay, so the grass and the flowers and the butterflies are waiting for you. They are beckoning you to run barefoot through their blades, to delight in their fragrant blossoms, and to chase their brightly colored flapping wings. They miss how you used to play together when you were a child. Well, that's very interesting because as a child, I had many experiences with the elementals, the fairy realm. And so much so that there were parents and school officials that apparently demanded that something be done with me. And so that's very interesting. Back before you were indoctrinated to behave like a grown up, whatever that means. Yes, that is exactly what took place. Wow. Back before you got all self conscious about who you might see rolling through the meadow, getting grass stains on your pants while you laughed and squealed and giggled. Let the child inside of you be wild and run free. Allow yourself to be formless and open, aware, and unself conscious. Put aside your judgment and your responsibilities. That's very interesting given my contemplations of late about discernment versus judgment, which you can see the video about that on the channels as well. I put it up on both channels. Now is the time for you to dance barefoot in nature and to allow the abundance of the natural world to remind you what prosperity truly is. Wow. And, because of what I was sharing in regards to Candy Girl, you see, Candy Girl was meant to be my rolling bedroom, my rolling studio, my camper van that would allow me to go on, outings and explorations. And wow, okay, so I guess it's time for me to. I had received an offer from someone back at the just before summer began, but they kind of forgot and never mentioned it again, and I never put too fine a point on it. So now it's sort of too late, I think, for that. I don't know. We'll see. I might have to ask about that because it does involve, assistance. There's just no way around it. Okay, so the ancient ones want to be last for this one because there were two cards that came out of the journey of love. Becoming wants to be first, and this is card number 34, which is a seven. Like I said, these two, uh, numerologically, both of these cards are sevens. And wow, this really has a almost a 3D feel to this painting to me. Like there's more than one realm or layers of realms depicted here. Yes, you are manifesting your divine purpose. Yet, what is happening now is just one of many inspired brushstrokes with the canvas of your life's work. You are the artist who paints with trust, instinctive and spontaneous trust, instinctive and spontaneous, with faith in the process unfolding. I do feel as though I am becoming more comfortable with seeing and understanding the word surrender has done a great deal for me in that respect. That and divine timing. You are not the painter using numbered squares who has a finished vision even before commencing the task, with a map for all steps of the journey. This is true. Your lack of plan renders you open and receptive to divine direction. You are capable of being moved by spirit. You are a brave adventurer. So celebrate what you are creating now and realize that it is a step in your major work of divine art, this life of yours, not to be planned, but to be experienced. Stroke after stroke, step after step, you shall witness the picture coming to life. It may not be what you expected, but it will be the most beautiful, extraordinary creation. This oracle brings you comfort that you are blossoming, and each petal unfolding is another step closer to your ultimate divine fulfillment. There is a message here, too, that a relationship or project that you are keen to move forward will bloom in its own unique way. Give it breathing room and be willing to let it become what it seeks to be. Even without a clear direction or plan, sometimes even because of that, there is an inner plan that can come to fruition. Well, that's very interesting. Again, that's, you see, Candy happened along right before the pandemic. And it's unfortunate that what happened with the building out of Candy happened the way that it did, because that took all the rest of the gift that I was given and it never came to fruition. So, and of course, because of that, now I need assistance. I can't physically pull out the things that are in there that need to be uh, handled and redone and things like that. I don't have the wherewithal to do that. Just physically, much less anything else. So, and I felt like I was giving it breathing room, but I don't know if now's, so I'm a little confused on that part. We'll have to see. Even without a clear direction or plan, sometimes even because of that, there is an inner plan that can come to fruition. Well, we'll just have to wait and see on that one for sure, won't we? Because as I said, there's quite a bit that would have to, well, not quite a bit, but just, someone to assist me in the actual, like I think what has to happen, and this is what I thought I had secured assistance with this, but it just didn't pan out. A way to pull everything out of Candy Girl and determine what can be put back in and how to arrange it all so that the things that were done incorrectly don't end up coming down on my head as I'm driving, just different things like that, before I can actually take her on the trips that she was meant to experience, or that the whole idea was based upon. So we'll have to see. The final card here is the Ancient Ones, card number 52. Again, this one is a 7 as well. And you can see the multidimensionality of this one. There are beings there. She is, this being here really is in a state of surrender there. Your spiritual growth is now acknowledged and witnessed by the heavenly ones that see beyond time and space into the reality of your soul. Do not lose heart if your spirituality is not fully acknowledged, understood, or appreciated by those around you in the physical world as yet. Yeah, it's a little tough sometimes when you know that there are those who think that you're just full on nuts. You know what I mean? Now, some of that feels to have eased a bit as certain things are being shown to certain beings, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. Though they may love you, it is most likely that their vision is still bound by time and space, and they cannot see into the very real gains that you have made in the subtle worlds where all true spiritual growth begins. That is true. When looking into self and coming to terms with the programming and conditioning that I know that I had, and changing myself, I'm not the same being that I was. And so loved ones don't know what to do with that. First of all, they haven't been in my presence, your presence, if this is happening to you. So they don't understand what is happening. Certainly not to the level that you do, even if you because a lot of us don't really even know what is happening for us in these moments as we are, at least for me, looking at the programming, the conditioning, the traumas that were installed when programs are installed, um, the resulting traumas of that programming and conditioning, the coming to terms with all of the beliefs and lies that we were sold about those beliefs, all those kinds of things, right? It changes the just everything about one, right? Or at least it certainly did me. And so I'm not the same being that they've experienced their entire life. Most of the beings that I'm speaking on have known me either most of their lives or, and this is going to be true for a lot of you as well, right? Especially if you're moving through, uh, you're you're growing in your spirituality, you're seeing yourself, you're healing different aspects of yourself, and that makes you a completely different being. And if they have removed themselves from your presence, they don't know that. They don't realize that you're not the same person. And so, and there's nothing really to do in regards to that. It's just for me, it's made it a lot easier for me to realize, especially when it comes to, I only got the one kid. And, he grew up with a mom that programmed and conditioned him to think and feel and act in particular sorts of ways. And now I see the error of all of that, and I don't respond or react in the same ways that I used to. And so that's a lot for folks that aren't in that mode themselves yet, or are, even questioning their own thoughts, feelings, beliefs about the truth of who they are, or we all are, right? We honor, so it says here, they cannot see into the very real gains that you have made in the subtle worlds where all true spiritual growth begins. So the ancient ones reach out to you and bring you this message. We see you, beloved. We honor your growth. It is real, it is palpable, and soon it will manifest fully in the physical world with breathtaking beauty. We honor your light. This oracle brings guidance that you have taken a leap in personal growth. You are still testing it in the physical world, trying to translate your inner changes into outer experiences. So true. And watching myself. I've shared that over the last several days, actually, watching myself, observing myself in the midst of interactions and actually seeing for myself how some of that difference takes place. It's only a matter of time before you see reflected back to you in your physical world what you have become within. And you will see it mirrored back to you in the eyes of those around you and in sacred relationship too. Wow, I love that idea. Isn't that lovely? Well, that's it for this one. I hope that if you found this, because obviously it would be later on today, there just hasn't been anyone that showed up today, that there was something here for you. Perhaps this one today is all only just for me, which is sometimes the way it goes. Um, wow, I really love all of what was said here today, and I can see how it absolutely applies to and how it applies. So I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that is presented to you. It is really truly only a matter of your perspective and your perception of your perspective. And so until we meet again, my friends, I hope that you will be well. Mwah.